This is part 3, and we're talking about the power of God and how in your previous church there was no power. And even though you were in ministry for 10 years and it was your church for 35 years, you knew it was no longer your church because you knew there was more. And let's talk about the more.
2013, we had 4 kids at the time. They were very young, and we started noticing there were some problems with our 2-year-old. And long story short, she was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, the 3rd most type of pediatric cancer, and we lived in a hospital for almost a year and a half. And we had to really trust the Lord during that time to provide all of our income, and He did. We both quit our jobs, and we moved into a hotel for a year and a half with our 4 small children. We moved out of state to Portland, Oregon for treatment, and the Lord said, trust me, trust me, trust me. And John heard from the Lord that our daughter Lindsey would be healed, but that we were to go through the medical process for healing. And the Lord told me kind of a version of Psalms 27, which says, some trust in chariots and some trust in horses, but you are to trust in the name of the Lord your God. He told me, some trust in medicine and some trust in doctors, but you are to trust in me. And make no mistake, Lindsey will receive the medical treatment, but the healing won't come through the doctors and the medicine. The healing will come through me, even though it will look like it's the doctors and the medicine. So that kind of kick-started our healing journey of faith to know that God heals today, because we had never really seen it before. And then when we got home back and the whole ordeal was over and our daughter did well and she's thriving, she's now 11 years old, healthy as can be, Jesus has healed her fully. We continue to grow in this quest of, does the Lord heal today? And if so, can we do it as His followers? Trip to the Philippines.
Yeah, so yeah, that was definitely a life-changing experience. We gave up everything and just did whatever it took to see Lindsey through that. She came through that, like a big party. Really, when a lot of the kids were sick with the chemo, and she would be on the same chemo, she was just not sick at all and doing great. You could really see Lord God's hand on her throughout the entire journey.
So then, as far as on this healing journey, it's about shortly after this that you met Paul, I believe.
Yeah. So we got home. And we were living at Jen's parents' house for a year, and then right after, as we decided what our next step in life was, with neuroblastoma, they don't tell you you're cancer free, or the cancer might be out of your body, but you're not in
Remission.
We're not in remission for 5 years after treatment. Whereas, leukemia, a lot of them, they give you 1 dose of chemo and they'll say, okay, you're in remission, but then they give you drugs, chemo drugs for a year to keep it from coming back. Neuroblastoma is so bad and deadly that it's 5 years after treatment before they say you're clean. And so we didn't jump right back into buying a house or anything. And so during that time, Jen went to an Aglow meeting, a Bible study, and Paul Rapley was there speaking. And at the end of that message, he put out an opportunity to anybody who would like to go on a mission trip to the Philippines with him, that they could go. And Jen came home, and I got home from work, and she says, hey, this guy Paul spoke at our Aglow meeting today and put an invite out for the mission trip to the Philippines. And I immediately knew in the spirit that I had to go on that trip. Like, there was no question about it. Like, oh, I'd like to go. No, it was like I had to go. And so I had Jen get a hold of the leadership of the Glow meeting to see if we could get Paul's phone number, and we got that, and I gave him a call. I wasn't able to connect with him while he was there in Alaska, and but I talked to him on the phone a couple times, and Paul did what he said to do to get signed up for the trip, and bought airplane tickets, and went.
So then you hadn't really met Paul until you got to the Philippines.
Right. Paul told me later that there's all sorts of people that say, I want to go on the trip when they hear about it, but if they haven't met him, nobody ever shows up. I was like the first one that showed up without actually meeting him face to face.
Well, that's so then you meet Paul, and now you're in the Philippines.
So
and you've seen God do a healing with your daughter using doctors, but knowing that it was the hand of God, and your faith is open to seeing what you're about to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you see? All right, we're gonna find a quieter place because it seems like we're hitting resistance here, but we're gonna find a quieter place because this is a very important topic. We're going into the healing, and healing is for today.
Yes.
Okay, stay with us.